Chapter 10, Section 7 is the second method that we can use to solve a side or an angle in a triangle when it is not a right triangle. So again, we're going to keep in mind that a capital letter is an angle. So maybe angle A, angle B, and angle C. And then keeping in mind that the small is across from that side. So side A would be across from angle A. Little b would be across from angle B, and then little c would be across from little c. So yesterday when we used law of cosines, it was imperative that we had a side angle side. We're going to use the law of sines if that is not the situation we have, if maybe we have different partners of stuff. So we're going to do sine of the angle over that side equals the sine of that, a different angle over the corresponding side. So we'll go ahead and take a look at one of these. So it wants us to find AM. So that would be this side right here. So that side, okay, again, the first thing you're going to do is kind of like match up your sides. So I know that this angle goes with that side and this angle goes with that side. So you want to find your pairs, and you're going to need two pairs. So from the pair I know sine of 48, the angle, goes with side 15. And I know that sine of 25, the angle, goes with my side x. Okay, so sine of the angle, okay, if I try to remember if it goes angle or side, I kind of think alphabetical, angle on top, side on the bottom, okay, and then equal to sine of 25, the angle over the side that I don't know. So if I'm solving for x, okay, what we're going to do here is we're going to cross multiply. So that's going to give me x times the sine of 48 equals 15 times the sine of 25. And I'm going to suggest that you put those values in front of the sign when you're multiplying just to kind of make sure that you're keeping yourself straight. So then I'm just going to try and get x by itself, which means what I would want to do is get rid of the sine of 48 on each side. So that's going to give me x equals, now be careful, you can do this all one time on your calculator, just be careful. So you should type in 15 times sine of 25, hit enter, and then divide by sine of 48, and you should get 19.3. Okay, so maybe this one's a little bit more straightforward for you than yesterday, and if you have the information that you need, then I would choose law of sines over law of cosines. Okay, so we'll try example B. I've got in measure in triangle MNP. Okay, so we'll start by drawing it MNP. M is 42 degrees. M, okay, so that means the side across from angle M is 152. And P, that's a little p, so that would go across from angle P, so that would go here is 109. And I want to find the measure of angle P here. So I'm going to find my two pairs right away. So I know the 42 is matched up with the 152, and then the theta is matched up with the 109. So I can make my proportions. So sine of the angle goes on top, so sine of 42 over the side 152 will equal sine of my angle, which I don't know, over 109. So it's the same idea as before, only this time I'm solving for theta. Okay, so I'm solving up here, but my first step is still going to be to cross multiply. So I'm going to say 109 times the sine of 42 equals 152 times the sine of theta. Okay, again, keep those numbers out front. Okay, I'm solving for theta, which is over here. So I'm still going to divide, but this side I'm just going to divide by 152. So again, you can type this all in your calculator at one time. 109 times sine 42. Hit enter before you divide by 152, and you should get 0.4798 equals the sine of theta. And remember from a couple sections ago, if you're solving for the angle, you have to take the inverse. So sine inverse of 0.4798 should give me theta, because that'll cancel out my sine. And then I should get an angle of 28.67, and then labeling it degrees because I found the angle. Okay, so I think a little bit more straightforward from yesterday. Just keep in mind when you very first set up this proportion, the angle goes on top and this side goes on the bottom. Okay, so let's try our next story problem. Two forest rangers are in their stations S and T, which are 25 miles apart, and on a certain day they see a fire. Okay, so here's S and T are 25 miles apart. The ranger at S sees the fire at 40 degrees, and the ranger T sees the fire at 60 degrees. How far is the fire from station S? So there's my X. Okay, so again, the first thing you want to do here is see if you have pairs. Okay, so I know X goes with 60, so I've got one pair. but now the 25 is matched up with this angle, okay? Or the 40 would be matched up with this side, okay? So right now I don't have exactly what I need, but maybe I can figure it out, okay? I can't just figure out this side length over here in the orange, so that's not going to help me. But I could figure out this angle that goes with my 25 because I know that a triangle has to add up to 180, so I know that my other one is 40 and my other one is 60, so I know that angle has to be 80 degrees. Okay, so don't just assume that the two that they give you, okay, are the two that you need and that they match up. So draw your triangle, label it like they give you, and then if you have two angles, you can automatically find the third because a triangle adds up to 180. So the trickiest part about this formula is knowing how to match up your sides appropriately. Okay, so now if I set it up, I'm going to say sine of my angle is 60 over the length that I'm looking for, x. Okay, will be matched up with sine of the 80 that I just found over the length 25. Okay, so you can find the angle, you can't just find that missing side like we did before. Okay, so again, I'll cross multiply. So I'll get 25 times the sine of 60 equals x times the sine of 80. Okay, again, I'm solving for x, so I'm going to divide by the sine of 80. So it's going to give me x equals, again, type that in your calculator all at one time, 25 times sine of 60 divided by sine of 80, and you should get 22 miles. Okay, sounds good. Let's try another one then. So we've got find A. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to plug in my theta right there. I'm going to see what my partners are, okay, what side and angle match up. So A goes across from my 97, which is great. And then my 115 does match up with my 181. So I got lucky this time. I can kind of just set up my formula. So I'm going to say sine of the 115, your angle, over 181 will equal sine of my angle over the side 97. Okay, so you just want to be really careful again that you're setting that up appropriately. So go ahead and cross multiply. 97 times the sine of 115 equals 181 times the sine of theta. Again, I'm solving for theta, so I'm going to divide each side by 181. So that will give me 0.4857 equals sine of theta. Again, to get theta by itself, you're going to take sine inverse of 0.4857 to equal theta, and you should get a final answer of 29.06 degrees. Again, labeling it degrees. Okay, so I think law of sines is hopefully a little easier for you than law of cosines. Okay, it just matters what information you're given and which one you can use. Okay, so write down any questions, and then this is your optical illusion. So you want to see if the people are on a rooftop balcony or on a base patio looking up. Okay.